Welcome to Good Food Connections and the Food Action Summit. Thank you for being here. Okay, we have quiet. Wonderful. I am Erin Adams. I am the Executive Director of Good Business Network of Washington. Formerly Seattle Good Business Network. For those of you who know us, we have been building a resilient, connected, and purpose-driven local economy since 2010. I thought there might be some folks here who don't know how this organization came to do this work, so I'm going to give you a very short story. In 2020, is that right? 2020, yes. In 2020, we received a King Conservation Regional Food Systems grant to connect King County and King County serving farms to local markets. And the way we were to do that was through two different ways. One was to do a F2C2, for those of you who remember, Farmer, Fisher, Chef Conference, or connection? Okay, connections, thank you. To revive that and do that food trade conference in some form or fashion and build an online forum so all those folks could stay connected when they weren't meeting in person. And then COVID hit. And just before COVID hit, Mariah DeLeo, who I'm sure, and I think probably everyone in this room knows, came to us, so well deserved, came to us to run that programming. And we always had a bit of a dream that that programming, that kernel, that seed money from the Conservation District would turn into this incredible food systems program, which it has. And so we could not do the conference, but build that online forum she did, conversation by conversation, hundreds and hundreds of them, understanding what food businesses needed, what they had to offer, and that forum now has over 1,400 food businesses, farmers, fishers, food system stakeholders who are online and connected. And then the other thing that happened at that time, because if you all remember COVID, the bottom fell out of restaurants, and we had rising food insecurity. And King Conservation District did something that I think a lot of funders did at that time, and I wish more still would do it, which said, you can go ahead and use this grant to meet the highest need right now. And the highest need at that moment was to help restaurants, to help the farms that serve those restaurants, and to address food insecurity. And so we developed a program, Good Food Kitchens, which has served almost 200,000 meals, funding restaurants and community kitchens to thank you. Honestly, thank you. To create nutritious, culturally relevant meals and serve them to folks facing food insecurity, all while sourcing from local farms. And we have to date, I think, served almost 200,000 meals, working with over 50 restaurants and community kitchens, as many local farms, and as many, again, social service agencies. Mariah has all this information off the dome. I do not, but I think I got it close. And I just want to say that what I have shared is the tip of the iceberg of the programming that has been developed. There are so many initiatives now in this program. I don't have time to share them, but I do want to warmly introduce my colleague, Mariah DeLeo, who has an undying commitment to food justice and environmental sustainability, and making this world a better place. And we are very, very lucky to have her.
We'll get there.
Another time.
Thank you, Erin. And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us here today. My name is Mariah DeLeo. I'm the Good Food Economy Program Director at Good Business Network of Washington. On behalf of the organizing team at Good Business Network and the City of Seattle, I'd like to welcome you all to the Good Food Connections and Food Action Plan Summit. We're honored to be hosting this event in this beautiful setting at the intersection of land and the Salish Sea, where the Duwamish people have stewarded, fished, and gathered since time immemorial. We'd like to acknowledge in particular the Muckleshoot Indian tribe, the ancestral keepers of the land, and pay our respects to Coast Salish tribes and the many urban native peoples who call this place home, whose deep knowledge of environmental stewardship continues to guide us in ensuring the well-being of our shared earth for all those who live here and the next generations to come. Thank you to Erin for that introduction to ground us on where we've been and how we find ourselves here today. I'm going to give a little bit more foundation on who we are, why we're doing this, before turning it over to our co-organizers at the City of Seattle to talk about the Food Action Plan and the reason we decided to join forces for this hopefully galvanizing event. From there, we're excited to introduce the new mayor of Seattle, Katie Wilson, to talk about the city's role in pursuing a resilient, sustainable, and equitable local food economy. I'd like to start by introducing ourselves, which Erin did a bit. Good Business Network of Washington is a nonprofit organization that creates the connections that make local economies work. We bring together local businesses, community organizations, public partners, and residents through convenings, peer networks, and targeted support to foster collaboration across sectors. We help translate shared values into practical solutions that strengthen communities over the long term, that revitalize neighborhoods, strengthen local food systems, advance sustainable practices, and support local makers, building a more connected, vibrant, and purpose-driven local economy. Our Good Food Economy program advances this mission through multiple different initiatives across the food system, working on the same shared goals: build local supply chain connections, strengthen viability and values at every link in the chain, and create access to good food for all, building a resilient, sustainable, and just local food economy. This work includes a food system-wide online community, Good Food Forum, a community meal program supporting local food businesses, a food security network, a citywide restaurant promotion, a multi-partner collaboration to build the largest directory of farms and food businesses in the state of Washington, a collaboration to build the largest directory of, a surplus and rescued foods marketplace, and a collaborative project to promote workplace well-being in the hospitality industry, to name a few. I encourage you to learn more about our, oops, I'm not paying attention to my clicker. Okay, sure. Okay, I'm gonna go a little slower, just to make sure everyone's gathering everything. But to learn more about the work that we do, you can go ahead and use that QR code, or the inside back cover of your program has that as well. I'd like to return at this time to the concept of food security. In this moment, we find ourselves in incredibly precarious times nationally and globally, where we are subject to the consequences of systems we have very little control over, and which direct every area of our lives. This is especially true of our food system. And yet, there is an incredible opportunity for us to put our heads down, look to each other, and work locally to build a better, more resilient, and more secure future for all communities. And what does secure mean? It means building resilience locally. Food security means that we have strong farm, seafood, distribution, manufacturing, retail, and food service sectors that are all connected and thriving. It means that the well-being of workers in every sector, with no exceptions, is ensured, from livable wages to safe working conditions and a voice in the decisions that direct their labor. And it means that everyone has access to the fruits of this incredible labor at a price they can afford, when they need it, and in the neighborhoods where they live. And that the means of producing and providing this essential food honor and nourish the very soil, waters, and air that made it possible. Food is our first essential public good. When the market cannot ensure that we are all secure, we must make public investments across the whole system, not only for the most vulnerable of us, or for some of us, but for all of us. Today, we have an opportunity to explore local connections that make our communities stronger. We'll explore what it means to address the challenges and barriers that prevent businesses from succeeding while honoring the labor that makes it possible. And we'll explore what it means to bring together the market economy and the assistance economy together toward a future that serves everyone better. And we'll provide a space for you all to connect with our public leadership to ensure that these solutions, to figure out those solutions together. This is a time for us to focus locally on our community and build the economy that we want to see. There will be an after. And when it happens, those of us who are there to see it will need to rebuild. We must begin to vision and build what we want to come next. And so I offer you this invitation, all of you today, to build together with us. Before we move today to today's agenda and housekeeping details, I'm honored to invite our co-organizer for this event, Bridget Igo, for the City of Seattle's Office of Sustainability and Environment. Bridget and her team spearheaded the city's food action plan development and has created a very exciting agenda today to help us move forward in implementing the plan, and I will let her tell you more.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bridget Igo. I'm a food policy advisor at Seattle's Office of Sustainability and Environment. I want to quickly acknowledge a couple of colleagues on this team, so maybe if you'll wave as I call you. We have Chris Iberly, our Buying with Purpose and Healthy Food in Schools lead, Robin Kumar, Fresh Bucks Program Manager, Sharon Lerman, Healthy Communities Director, and Liliana Ayala, who is OSE's Director. And on behalf of our office, I just want to thank you all so much for being here, and we're especially grateful to Good Business Network and all the partners who helped organize this gathering. It is so exciting to see so many people from across our food system in one room. Our office was very eager to co-host this year's Good Food Connections because it aligns directly with the goals that we're advancing through Seattle's Food Action Plan. The Food Action Plan is the city's roadmap for how we build a more equitable, sustainable, and resilient food system. And at its core, the plan is driven by a simple but powerful question. Are you helping me with my slides? It's okay. That question is, how can we ensure that the food system works better for everyone, from the people growing the food, to the people preparing and serving it, and to the families who rely on it every day? And one way that we begin answering that question is by looking closely at the role that public institutions play in the food system and how the city can use its own purchasing power to help shape better outcomes. So one of the newer priorities that is emerging from the updated Food Action Plan is our Buying with Purpose initiative. Across the city, we purchase and serve a significant amount of food each year through programs like Healthy Food in Schools. I know SPS Culinary Director Aaron Smith is here. Oh, there he is down there. And also through services like food banks and community meal programs. And while those purchases may seem routine, collectively they represent an important opportunity. Because we know that when cities and their partners think carefully about how they buy food, not just how much food they buy, they can help shape the food system in very meaningful ways. Through Buying with Purpose, Seattle is working to align our food purchasing with broader community values. And that means asking questions like, how can our purchasing support local and regional farmers and food producers? How can it help create good jobs and stronger local supply chains? How can it expand access to nutritious and culturally relevant food? And how can it reduce the climate and environmental impacts associated with the food that we serve and buy? So gatherings like today's summit are super important because it helps us connect the dots across all of those goals. And it helps us foster collaboration across the local and regional food system, which is going to be essential. So today's conversations, we're going to explore a variety of issues and opportunities in our food system. We're going to spotlight community-driven solutions that are helping to make local food more affordable and accessible. So as we get into the day, I really encourage all of you to take the opportunity to connect with somebody new, share what you're seeing in your work, and let's think together about the bigger possibilities ahead. Thank you all again for being here and for the work that you do every day to strengthen our local and regional food system. And thank you very much to Mariah and the Good Business Network for putting on such a fabulous convening. Thank you.
We are so honored to be able to welcome our new mayor to Seattle to come and help us open today's event and welcome you all here. Mayor Katie Wilson has been a champion for all Seattleites through her time organizing, and we are encouraged by her establishing priorities early on about affordability for all in our community, specifically with food as one of the 4 major pillars. We are hopeful to have a partner that shows the same courage as the businesses, organizations, and communities we work with each day to create solutions that build the kind of economy where we can all thrive, and for Seattle to take a leadership role in helping us get there. Please welcome Mayor Katie Wilson.
Good morning. How are you all doing this morning? Good. Okay. I'm delighted to be here. And before I dive in, I'd like to get a sense of who's in the room. So raise your hand if you grow, harvest, or distribute food around our region. Okay. Now, yeah, give them a round of applause. Okay, how about if you are a small business or grocery store operator? Okay, round of applause. And how many of you are here representing community organizations working on food access, nutrition, or public health? Okay. Okay, how many of you, like me, are government workers? Okay, okay. Okay, and is there anyone who does not fall into any of those categories? Okay, I want to ask what you all do, but that will have to wait. Okay. Well, it is so great to be here and to see so many people here who care deeply about health, affordability, and the future of our food system. And at the same time, we know that we're gathering at a moment of real challenge for our food system. Over the past few years, high inflation has hit families hard, and the rising cost of groceries has made it more difficult for households to put healthy food on the table. We're seeing grocery stores closing in neighborhoods that can least afford to lose them, leaving families and workers without access to critical goods and services. And of course, when grocery stores close, that eliminates good union jobs, squeezing families further. At the same time, we're seeing federal attacks on SNAP and other nutrition programs that make food access even more challenging. And it also means fewer customers and less money for community grocers that may be struggling themselves. And of course, our small food businesses, many of whom are here today, are navigating an affordability crisis of their own. All of that is why expanding access to affordable food is one of the cornerstones of my affordability agenda. And I know that we have the innovation and the leadership here in this room to help our city rise to that challenge. Across our region, community organizations are building new food distribution models that center dignity and cultural relevance. Local food businesses are experimenting with cooperative ownership, shared kitchens, and creative retail formats. And our farmers and producers are strengthening regional supply chains. And of course, our city departments are working alongside labor partners, grocers, and community advocates to explore new approaches, such as alternative grocery models and the potential for public investment to ensure that every neighborhood has access to affordable and fresh food. And despite all of the challenges, I'm feeling really hopeful, and I know that we can do this. As I mentioned in my State of the City address last month, Seattle has a history of government involvement in expanding access to food. Pike Place Market. And of course, our challenges today are very different than they were 100 years ago, but I believe that we can do this. The bottom line is that everyone in Seattle deserves reliable, affordable access to healthy food in their own neighborhood. And you all are the entrepreneurs, the organizers, the public health leaders, the farmers, the grocers, and the advocates who are gonna help make that happen. You all chose to be here this morning to collaborate, listen, problem solve, and lead. I'm here today to be part of it, and I want you to consider my administration and the City of Seattle to be your partners in this work. So thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Wilson. Now for today's event. This is the less lofty part of the programming, but hopefully we get you all situated on what we're doing next. I just want to let you know that you can find your schedule listed in your programs. and on the website at goodfoodconnections.org at any time today, as well as we have a couple of banners out there too that can help you kind of wayfind. Immediately following these remarks is our Buying with Purpose networking session in the Harbor Room. We imagine that you will all benefit from hearing the presentations in the first hour, and then in the second, we'll invite other buyers to come sit at tables by sector so that producers and suppliers can connect with them in a speed networking session. For any of you who do not plan to participate in the second part, we encourage you to use the hallways for networking. Our sponsors at Growing for Good will also be holding a conversation corner in the Marina Room all day, except for 1 hour when there's a session there. You are welcome to take a break, handle work that comes up, or gather together in groups for your own self-organized discussions throughout the day. This will be followed by lunch in Harbor at 11:45. We're going to invite those participating in our next programming to get their lunch first, and then we'll open up the buffet to all. We're going to have rapid shares back in this room in Bay Auditorium starting right at 12:30. So you are invited to bring your lunch here for those presentations if you're not quite finished yet. Lunch today was created by Columbia Hospitality's Chef Hans, featuring ingredients from 33 of our regional producers. Oh, sorry. Vanessa, can you go back to the, thank you. I want to say that this food was generously provided to us by our sponsors, Cascadia Produce and Puget Sound Food Hub, who did the bulk of the sourcing and distribution of this work for us, as well as Osh Farms and Farm Stand Local Foods. I also want to call out Amu Nutrition, Blue Skies Bakery, Bluebird Grain Farms, Boon Boona Coffee, which I hope you're all enjoying, Firefly Kitchens, Grand Central Bakery, Kitchen Imp, Soful Saffron. That's right, y'all. Saffron is being grown in this region. Steensma and Zilberstein's Delicatessen, and I hope you're all enjoying those bagels today. It took an incredible amount of individuals and businesses and organizations to make today happen. Caterers, ingredient providers, tasting vendors, our Good Business Network staff, and the team here at Columbia Hospitality and Bell Harbor International Conference Center. I also want to thank our advisory committee who helped us plan and shape our session. Probably not as long as we would have liked. We got started in November planning this event, but we're really grateful to have a diverse range of people across sectors and backgrounds helping us kind of tell us what we should be doing today. So thank you to advisory committee members who are here and for your efforts in volunteering as well. Finally, I want to give just the biggest, warmest round of applause and thank you to Kate Thiel, our community engagement coordinator, who is my right-hand person in all of this good food work, who you have all heard from multiple times, and who helped us all get here today. I want to thank Camille Faulkner, our events and partnerships manager, coming back from leave and jumping right into this kind of crazy event, who is helping to coordinate all of our vendors for today and is being, again, our kind of cornerstone main liaison person for today. So thank you so much to Camille. And finally, to Bridget and Chris. Bridget and Chris at the City of Seattle have been incredible organizers with us. I don't think the day would be nearly as robust without their efforts and contributions. So just thank you so much to the partnership for the shared work to Bridget and Chris. Okay. All right. All right. Oh. Sorry, I'm not really good at coordinating both things at once. And finally, I want to thank our sponsors. Again, who made this day possible. We try to keep this event as accessible as possible by offering robust scholarships, keeping it below cost and everything. And our sponsors have really stepped in to make it possible for us to hold this event in this place with all of you here today. Thank you especially to the City of Seattle, who is our main partner for this event, as well as Washington State Microenterprise Association, WSMA. They have an ad in your program that goes to their Evergreen BizLink, which is a great resource for finding nonprofit providers and help throughout the state. To Eat Local First, who's one of our collaborative members, and making what I referred to earlier as the largest statewide directory of farms and food businesses, farms, seafood, and food businesses serving those local foods. To Cascadia Produce, whom I mentioned, a great resource for us in terms of sourcing and distributing food for today's event, but also one of our partners on Good Food Exchange. If you are part of that surplus and rescue marketplace, you will see Jeremy popping through with lots of incredible opportunities that I hope you will learn more about today. To Puget Sound Food Hub, as I mentioned, again, a great partner in sourcing, and one of the really bedrock kind of institutions in our region for making sure that local food is getting to local businesses and institutions and community organizations. To PCC Community Markets, thank you so much for your partnership. We've been really excited to partner with them for their incredible values-based sourcing. I want to thank also AgWest Farm Credit, Farm Stand Local Foods, Washington Dairy, Growing for Good, Town and Country, Osh Farms, and all these incredible food providers that I mentioned as well. Let's see. Okay, now I'm going back. Great. Continue the connections. So don't worry, after today's programming, the connections do not have to end here. I would like to invite you all to Good Food Forum, which is our online community where we facilitate just this kind of matchmaking. Whether you're looking for a new source for local saffron, need a kitchen equipment or commercial kitchen space, or looking for funding resources, you can post and share about your needs or resources. You can also see everyone in the community and find and search for people and connect with them directly. As in past years, we have a wall of information about the products and services people are looking for and offering to help you further make matches with your attendees. So you can find that in the conversation corner in the Marina room, and we'll also send it to you by email at the end of the day. Finally, you'll notice that we have, let me see if it's on here. Nope. A QR code in your program. And on slides throughout the day, which include a link to our feedback survey for today's event. We ask you to fill it out before leaving the day. While everything is fresh in your mind, the feedback is vital for our continued support for this event to keep happening and to help shape future events to come. Also included is a link to our Good Business Network's annual survey, which this year we're focusing on commercial space, so we can get a better understanding of needs, see where we can identify potential areas of collaboration, and to advocate with our public officials for. So please do fill that out. And some of the lighter housekeeping, you'll find bathrooms located outside this room to your right. And then there are also restrooms across from registration as you entered the building. There is a nursing room and coastal room, should you have need of that. And then, if you have any questions throughout today, you can look out for our organizers and staff who are identified here by our name badges. So, without further ado, I'd like to invite you all to head to Harbor Room to begin the day's programming. Thank you.